and meets his greatest foe, the Kong of Steel. A gargantuan duel, unmatched by any battle in history. Thundering 60-foot robot Kong of Steel, creation of the evil Doctor Who, criminal genius who stops at nothing.
Kong, once again, dig!
King Kong shakes the earth. King Kong fights for life against a copter squadron. 1,000 thrills as King Kong battles the Serpent of Mondo Island.
Look, it's Kong!
Hits himself against a nation's armament. And plunges a beautiful girl into a world of terror. King Kong in a duel to the death.
Hello, and welcome to another movie review from MediaAssault.com. This week we take a look at an import from Japan, 1967's King Kong Escapes. If you've only watched American-made King Kong movies, you know that the big ape has never made it through a movie alive. In stark contrast, in his two Japanese outings, King Kong vs. Godzilla and King Kong Escapes, Kong is very much alive, but looks like he's been doing heavy drugs and caught a bad case of the mange. As you may know, in Japan, many monster movies were made by putting men in rubber suits and having them smash model cities instead of using the more expensive and time-consuming Western techniques such as stop-motion animation or large-scale animatronics. That methodology worked pretty well when the monster was reptilian and supposed to possess rubber-like skin. A rubber suit version of a furry creature like Kong tends to look like a guy in an ill-fitting ape suit with a poorly sculpted papier-mâché face and teeth that look like they belong to a carnivorous beaver. In other words, you've got one terrible-looking version of King Kong. In King Kong Escapes, United Nations submarine commander Carl Nelson and his crew, including Susan Watson and Jiro Nomura, are looking for oil in the Java Sea. An underwater landslide damages their rudder, and the sub is forced to surface near Mondo Island. Coincidentally, Mondo Island is reputed to be the home of legendary giant ape King Kong, which Commander Nelson has spent many years researching in the past. Carl, Susan, and Jiro visit the island to see if they can spot Kong while the sub is being repaired. They not only spot him, but he rescues Susan from certain death by fighting off and killing a Gorosaurus that was going to eat her. Kong falls in love with Susan and attempts to carry her off, but he respectfully responds to her commands to put her down and allow her to return to the submarine unharmed. Meanwhile, the evil Doctor Who has been hired by Madam X, also known in some versions as Madam Piranha, to mine Element X, a powerful and rare mineral that can be used to create nuclear weapons. Madam X works for an unnamed country that wants to become a superpower, and Element X will allow them to leapfrog the United States and the USSR in nuclear superiority. Doctor Who has constructed a giant robot version of Kong to mine the mineral from a cavernous area at the North Pole. Unfortunately, the robot breaks down when it comes in contact with the highly radioactive element. Doctor Who sees the press accounts of the submarine crew's contact with the real King Kong, and he sets off to Mondo Island to capture and use him to mine the precious but dangerous Element X. Doctor Who also plans to kidnap Carl and Jiro after hearing how Susan was able to tell Kong what to do. And no, this Doctor Who has no relation to the long-running British sci-fi show. He does, however, wear a cape and have horribly rotted teeth. If you're a kaiju fan, King Kong Escapes is enjoyable in spite of its shoddy production quality. The goofy comic book logic and wild retro-futuristic technology are all part of its charm. The ties between this movie and an animated King Kong series that aired in the 1960s cause some weird anomalies in the plot that make the film even more nonsensical. For example, if you're wondering why or how Doctor Who built a robot version of a creature that no one had seen before, it's because the original animated series, Doctor Who battled the Bond family, who had befriended King Kong on Mondo Island. However, in the movie, the Bond family has been removed, but other plot elements remain, including Doctor Who's knowledge of Kong's existence. The terrible-looking Kong suits ruin one's ability to fully disengage belief and enjoy the mindless plot. Several shots even allow glimpses of the suited actor's nose and mouth inside the suit. Still, King Kong Escapes contains some fairly decent effects for a Japanese kaiju film. While the models and suitmation monsters would never fool anyone but the smallest child, there are some interesting and well-done sequences, including the fantastic kangaroo-kicking Gorosaurus battle and a shot of the Aurora Borealis above Doctor Who's North Pole lair. If you're not a fan of giant monster movies, King Kong Escapes will probably test your patience to the limit. However, fans of the genre will be entertained for a solid 97 minutes. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more music, movie, and game reviews. See you soon.